Hey everyone, it's Peter. Welcome back. Today we're going to be diving into creatine. Yes, I know you're all familiar with it, right? One of the most popular and common supplements on the marketplace, a staple in many people's supplement regimen and their journey to live a happier and healthier life. So today we're going to take a look at the two common types of creatine that you'll find out there, the differences amongst them, the applications, serving suggestions, and then how to find a high quality one without breaking the bank. So buckle up, grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's get into it right here on Capsule to Capsule. Alrighty, so talking creatine. This is a supplement that's pretty near and dear to my heart, actually. This was the very first supplement that I can recall 17 years ago asking my mom if we could get some. I was into working out and reading about it, and I wanted to try some. And she was like, dude, absolutely not. You're going to get kidney failure. It's going to be terrible for you, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? My mom doesn't know what she doesn't know, right? It's not her fault. She was just trying to protect her son. What we know now is that creatine is one of the most clinically studied supplements in history. We're talking over 600 clinical studies documenting its safety and its efficacy across numerous populations. It's a fantastic supplement. It really is. We're talking strength, recovery, muscle synthesis, as well as some cognitive benefits that we're still starting to understand, but show some really nice promise. Okay, so I love it. It's great. It works very well for me. I certainly notice a difference from when I'm taking creatine versus when I'm not. Now, that's not going to be the case for everybody. Okay, so this is an important thing to know about any supplement in general, is that not everybody responds to supplementation. For creatine, it's about 20% or so of people that are non-responders, and there's a couple different reasons for that. You can look them up on your own time if you want, but I think that story just holds true for any supplement. Some people just don't respond to supplements at all, okay? So if you've tried it before and you're like, didn't really notice anything, that's okay, no worries. It's just not for you, okay? But this video is for either people that have tried creatine and maybe they're looking to try a different form, or they're just looking to get into it and start taking it. So let's get into it and let's start unpacking about what is creatine and what are the different forms that are out there. All right, so creatine, as we said before, is designed to help support your body generate more ATP in the long run, which leads to better strength outputs in the gym, leads to better muscle recovery and muscle synthesis, as well as some cognitive benefits too, which are really cool. So what are the two forms that you're going to see most commonly on the supplement marketplace? Well, there's creatine monohydrate and there's creatine hydrochloride. Let's start with monohydrate. So this is the old guy, if you will. Creatine monohydrate has been around a very long time, okay? Very well studied, very, very safe, and it's loved by a lot of people around the world. It is creatine attached to a water molecule, hence creatine monohydrate. Now, you're going to see a labeling on creatine monohydrate that's called micronization. Now, let's talk about what that means, okay? So when creatine is going through its manufacturing process, creatine monohydrate comes as a crystal. Now, if you were to take those crystals in their rock form, that's going to cause a lot of stomach upset, a lot of bloating, and nobody's going to like it. So what the manufacturers have done is this micronization process, which effectively means they pulverize those crystals and the very tiny particles, like a fine powder. Think the finest, whitest sandy beach you've ever been on. There's a little bit of a shimmer to it, right? Hence those crystals. That's creatine monohydrate, and that's how it looks when you open your tub. It is odorless, it is flavorless, and it is colorless. If you ever open a tub of creatine and it's not a beautiful, shiny white, it's like an off-white, smells chemically or funky, that's a great indicator that it's a poor quality creatine, and I do not recommend taking that. Several years ago, that may have been commonplace, right? The yields, or the percent yields in the manufacturing process may have been lower. Nowadays, with the advancements in manufacturing, you can get excellent 99 or greater percent pure creatine monohydrate in a generic form we're talking 6 to 8 months supply for like 30 bucks. And it's very high quality. Awesome. There are branded forms of creatine monohydrate as well. Some of them claim up to 99.99% purity with ultra micronization processes, which leads to better dispersion in water, and they claim less bloating, less irritability, those sorts of things. And you can research branded creatine. Just know that you're going to spend top dollar for those branded forms when in reality, the generic form is just as good. If you can stomach a little bit more grit, which I can. I mix it in anything really. I'll put it in protein shakes, I'll put it in coffee, I'll put it in a smoothie, I'll put it in, I don't know, my son's applesauce. I don't really care. I just got to get my creatine. Okay, so you can find creative ways to work around the grit and save your wallet a lot. So that's what I like to do. Now, creatine hydrochloride. What the heck is that? Well, as the name implies, creatine hydrochloride is creatine that's bonded to hydrochloric acid. Now, don't freak out. There's no acid, what? Listen, hydrochloric acid is in your stomach, okay? That's stomach acid, right? So creatine hydrochloride is gonna be better dispersible in water, it's gonna dissolve better, and it's also gonna be a lower input amount to achieve the same effect. So for creatine monohydrate, you're looking anywhere from 3 to 10 grams, really, depending on your application. Some people like to do what's called a loading phase, which now we know that's not really necessary, where they take up to 20 grams a day. And that can really irritate the stomach. You know, I've tried that before and I didn't really like how it made me feel. So I stick in the 5 to 10 grams per day range, and I'm about 220 pounds or so. The equivalent serving for me of creatine hydrochloride is only 3 grams per day. So it's 10 for monohydrate and about 3 for hydrochloride. So much lower input amounts. And again, you're going to get that better dissolvability, better mixability for a more pleasurable experience. So let's just say you're somebody that's tried monohydrate before and it made you bloated, right? You felt like you were retaining all this water, whatever. You didn't like the grit. I recommend giving hydrochloride a try. It's going to be the exact same thing. You're still supplementing with creatine. Remember, creatine is creatine no matter what it's bonded to. It's going to do the same thing in your body, but it may be a nice, easier way for you to take it that doesn't lead to so much irritability. So check out hydrochloride, okay? All right, now, how do you select a good quality creatine monohydrate if you're not going to go with the branded form? Because remember, you're going to be paying a premium for those branded forms, and the generic is likely just as good. So if you're going to go with the generic, there's a couple things to look out for. Number one is the manufacturing certification, okay? We are looking for, at a minimum, GMP certified manufacturing. Now, GMP, and I'll probably do a full video about manufacturing certifications and the different levels that companies can attain. But GMP assures that that manufacturer maintains batch records, so they have detailed documents about all the products that they are producing, and they're cleaning and sanitizing their machinery to industry standards between each batch that they run for each different product. Now, why that's important is, let's just say somebody's not manufacturing to those standards, there's a very good chance that supplement A that goes through their machinery is going to have residuals, a residue left over, and that's going to wind up in the one you're taking in product B, and that could be a very bad thing. A great example of this is through the very famous podcaster Joe Rogan. When he launched his supplement brand, they were not initially using a GMP certified manufacturer. What happened was, when they got their first lot, they sent it off for testing, and it had all of these impurities that were not in their formula, and they couldn't figure out where they were coming from. Turns out, when they figured out the manufacturer wasn't cleaning their machineries, it was from leftover residue from other products. Yikes. Now that's all been remedied, and of course I'm paraphrasing the story, but that's essentially what happened. And the story here, and the real thing to take home, is you have to at least be buying from that certification, at least GMP, all right? There's other tiers, NSF, Safe for Sport, all these different ones that we can look at, and we probably will in a later video. But for this video, in this context, at least GMP certified. That's number one. Number two is that I want to see that they are independently lab certifying for purity and quality. Okay, so similar to before, we want to know that what's in the formula is actually what's in the formula, meaning that there's no heavy metals, there's no toxins, there's no microbial contaminants. Independent lab certification is a must, in my opinion. You may have different opinions. That is mine. If it's not certified independent, I'm not taking it. Okay? So those are two big things to look at. Now, I want to talk about creatine specifically because you might see this a lot. There may be a stamp on the packaging that says 100% pure creatine. Now, don't get confused here. There's no such thing as 100% pure creatine. The highest level of purity that's attainable, at least that I've seen, is 99.99% pure. And that's from those branded compounds, things like Crea Pure, Crea Vitalis. There's probably some other ones out there. Those are kind of the two big ones that come to mind. The generics are going to be able to get 99 and above as well, so don't get scared by generics. But when you see that 100% branding, that is referring to the ingredients in the bottle or the tub or whatever is only creatine. So that bottle contains 100% creatine. That doesn't mean that the creatine is a 100% yield though. Those are two different things, all right? So just know that if you see a 100% pure stamp, that means that the only ingredient is creatine. Now, I like that because, in my opinion, there should be no other ingredients, nothing in creatine other than creatine. That's the only ingredient that needs to be in there. No flavorings, no binders, no excipients, which are effectively stabilizers or delivery vehicles to maintain the life of the supplement. Creatine doesn't need any of that crap, okay? So 100% pure is great. I only want creatine in there. Excellent. If you're doing flavored creatine, you can't have that stamp because there's going to be flavorings in there, whether they're artificial or whether they're natural or they're sweeteners, whatever. It's going to have other ingredients. If you're taking chewable forms of creatine tablets, which is something that's kind of come about recently, I don't understand that at all. I think it would be disgusting, but I've never tried it, so I don't know. But I only take powdered creatine. I think that's the best way to get it. It's going to be the most absorbable, the fastest absorption through powders. But if you're taking tablets, it's going to have binders to hold the tablet together. It's going to have sweeteners. It's going to have a bunch of crap in there. And then the other form that you may see creatine come in, and this is pretty new, is gummies. Oh, boy. Listen, stop it. I don't think any supplement should ever come in a gummy form. Now, I am in the supplement world. I work with manufacturers. I know what goes into the gummy making process. And let me tell you, in my opinion, there is no good gummy at all. One thing I do like that's kind of come about recently is individual serving sachets or packets of creatine. Okay, so, little tubes or whatever that you can stuff in your bag, your backpack, your purse, your pocket if you want, and take it, on the go. I love that. Nobody wants to carry on a big hefty tub. How awkward is that, walking down the street with a big tub, right? And I've even pre-mixed it, threw it into my gym bag, and it opens and spills everywhere, and it's a nightmare. Okay, you just lost your creatine for the day. So I love those individual packets. I think those are great, but you are going to pay a premium for the manufacturing of those and the packaging, etc. So just be wary of that. But I do think that that's a really cool innovation in this space. What I'm going to do now is we're going to transition to actually looking at a marketplace, and we're going to go through the different pricings and just take a look at some of the different options out there for creatines, and one that are going to get 2 thumbs up, and ones that maybe, I don't know, that looks a little sketchy. So I'll see you on the screen. Let's jump into it.
Okay guys, so here we are on Amazon, and first off, don't listen to anybody that says, oh, you can't get good quality supplements on Amazon. Yeah, you can. Okay, you can even get professional or practitioner grade supplements on this marketplace. And think about it from a business, right? Amazon has 175 million users just in the United States. Who's not looking to tap into that market? Especially if you're controlling the sale and the distribution, where you can maintain quality and your standards. Absolutely, you can get good products on Amazon. So what we're going to do is take a look at some different creatine products. So let's just go to the search bar and type in creatine. Okay, so a couple, just mantras that I like to live by on Amazon is any time you see a sponsored link, guys, that company is paying for that spot. It has nothing to do with the quality or the product overall. It's just who's paying top dollar for the exposure there. So, I may give them a look over, especially ones that have very high confidence in the rating numbers. But for the most part, I'm going to skip over these and go right to the non-sponsored links. Okay, so again, we're going to look at a generic creatine monohydrate. We're going to look at a branded form, and then maybe some gummies or tablets, and then we'll take a look at creatine hydrochloride so you can see the difference in serving size and prices across the spectrum. Okay, so I don't know, let's go with some NutriCost. Okay, I've used NutriCost before. This is a generic form. You can get, this is 200 servings. Okay, so 6 months plus of creatine. So what we're looking for here is creatine is the only ingredient, number one, and then the manufacturing standards as well. Okay, so when you go to the product images here on the left, we're focusing on bottle images and staying away from the marketing stuff. Okay, so these are bottle images. Okay, so you can see right here they have the GMP compliance stamp. Do they have independently tested? Yes, they do. Third-party tested. Okay, and a really nice price, so $40 for 6 months plus. All right, so again, this is a generic form, and it's a really great price. This is going to be a good, high-quality product. Okay, now let's take a look at a branded form. Here we go. So this is Ascent. I've also used Ascent products before in the past. Again, guys, I'm not sponsored by any supplement companies. This is, not a paid video by any means. I'm not affiliated with any of these brands. I'm just showing you how I go about the marketplace and pick very good quality products. Okay, so here we are. So remember, the generic creatine we just looked at was 2.2 pounds or 1 kilogram. This is half of that serving. So this is only about a 3-month supply, maybe 3.5 months for the same price. Okay, and it's still just creatine, right? But this is a branded form of creatine. So let's skip to the bottle images. Here we are on the supplement facts, and that's where you see the branding. So CreaPure, as I mentioned in the previous portion of this video, is one of those highly touted branded forms. It claims ultimate purity for their creatine. They have an informed sport certification, which this certification would encompass GMP manufacturing. So this is a very high level certification. It's great if you're someone that gets tested by anti-doping agencies for athletics. But just as a little aside, anyone that is GMP certified and independently lab tested, creatine is not a banned substance, so those would most likely be fine as well. But if you're an athlete and you want the ultimate safety, then it does make sense to go with a higher certification. Okay, so yeah, so this is just what you're going to get here, right? So again, if you're going to go with the branded form, you're going to pay a premium. It's about double the price of the same supplement as the generic form. Okay, let's see if we can take a look at one more. Let's scroll through a little bit here. Why don't we stop and take a look at some gummies and different delivery mechanisms. Okay, so let's take a look at these gummies right here. Non-sponsored link. Okay, so you see right here, third-party tested. Excellent. Unfortunately, this is a huge red flag for me. They do not have the supplement facts panel as part of their featured images. That is a tremendous red flag. Okay, so this is my opinion. Okay, I don't know these people or this brand, but if a company is not putting their bottle images right in their featured shots, that potentially signifies to me, or that signifies to me that potentially they're trying to hide something. And they don't want you to be able to easily find that supplement facts panel. So I'm not even going to bother looking through the rest of that. Let's find some other ones to look at. But yeah, I just can't get past that. That's just terrible. Okay, so let's look at Thorne. Thorne is a huge brand, one of the biggest brands in the entire world. Okay, so let's see what they're doing. So here we are. Let's go to, we'll do 180 servings because that's going to be closest to the original generic that we looked at. So remember, we saw 2.2 pounds from NutriCost, creatine monohydrate. This is a little bit less. This is only 2 pounds, so 100 grams less. $84. Whoa, crazy. Let's see what kind of creatine they're using. Generic creatine. I don't see any trademarking here for this creatine form. Remember, these are all just marketing images, nothing to take home there. Do they show anything about a branded form of creatine? Can they at least show that? No. This is shocking. I get it that NSF certified for sport, but that's going to be basically the same level of, certainty that you get from Informed Sport. It's the same sports certification looking for banned substances. And what we saw with Ascent, about the same price, I guess, because they were, $40 for 90 servings. So, yeah, about the same price. But they were at least using Creapure. I don't see any indication that this company is using Creapure. Yeah, wow, shocking, absolutely shocking. Okay, so that's the take-home message there, guys. If you want to go with that branded form, you're going to pay a little bit extra. I can at least try to rationalize that. But if it's just generic creatine monohydrate, a branded form is not indicated, and they're going to charge that much money, whew, baby, that's a tough sell. So here are the single serve packs I was talking about. This is also from Thorne. We'll take a look at this really quickly because we mentioned it in the previous segment. So you get 30 servings and you're at $36. So once again, you're paying for that extra level of manufacturing to get those single serve sachets. And if you're someone that's really busy on the go, that may be worth it for you. But you're only getting a 1 month supply or less if you take 10 grams a day like I do. 15-day supply. Wow, incredibly expensive. Okay, let's see if we can find really quickly some gummies or something. You can get creatine in capsules, as you see here from Life Extension. A lot of brands do capsules as well. If you're into that. Let's see, do we have any tablets or something? They're really not that common, so I'm not surprised at all. Okay, here we go. Here's some Force Factor gummies. All right, let's take a look at these. So, right off the bat, you can see they do have the NSF certification, so that's nice. Very good manufacturing quality. Here's the label. So, as I said, look at this. You've got artificial sweeteners, you've got multiple forms of sugar, pectin, which is what helps make the gummy, but that can cause stomach upset. Again, I'm not trying to talk bad about this. If you want to use gummies, go for it. Just be wary. The serving size is 5 gummies. You're only getting a 1 month supply, and it's also not just creatine. You're also getting 2 botanical extracts, 2 plant extracts here, and some electrolytes as well, I guess in the form of sodium. So yeah, if you want to do that, go for it. a little bit bizarre to me. Okay, great. So here we have some creatine chews as well. So chewable tablets these are. All right, so let's check for manufacturing and all the standards that we look for. So we're looking for GMP or some sort of certification. Every batch is third-party tested, so that's good. Do we have some sort of certification? Some sort of manufacturing cert? Marketing junk? I don't see anything. Where's the GMP? Where's Informed Sport? FDA registered facility, maybe that encompasses it. Not super familiar with that registration. I would assume most places are, but I don't know. I have to look that one up on my own time. But in any case, if you look at the ingredients, look at the first ingredient, sugar, dextrose, another form of a simple carbohydrate. Okay, so guys, I mean, again, 4 chewable tablets is a serving. Only get a 1-month supply here. I just don't understand it. Right? Just take a creatine powder. Like, you don't need all that junk. Okay. Okay, so that's creatine monohydrate. Okay. Let's take a look at creatine hydrochloride. We'll look at Beyond Raw. What I've been noticing here is most people use concrete. Yeah, this may be the only one that's available. Is concrete. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I haven't seen a creatine HCl product that's not concrete yet. So, you know, here 1 scoop is 2 grams, which is a pretty good serving actually for hydrochloride. And we'll take a look at another serving size here in a minute, but you get 60 servings in 1 container for 35 bucks. Okay, so pretty good. This would be, you know, not bad at all. Remember, the input amounts on hydrochloride are lower. The serving size is going to be much lower, better dissolvability, less irritation of the stomach. If that's something you struggle with, this may be a great place to start. Where are the certifications? That's what we're looking for. So sometimes you got to dig a little deeper, which is fine. We can do that. Let's see, GMP, anything. Sports certs, GMP, anything. I don't see anything. So yeah, I would skip away from this. This just tells you nothing about the quality of manufacturing. Big red flag for me. Let's go to concrete. So this is, everybody basically white labels concrete, but this is from their actual company. Look, I like how they make it look like a construction company, right? Concrete, ha ha ha. So here you get 100 servings for $30. Let's see what the serving size is. And there you go. It's only $7.50 per serving. Okay, so the Beyond Raw that we just looked at was 2 grams per serving of creatine HCl. This is only $7.50. So even if you double scoop it, you're only getting 1.5 grams. So that's 50 servings. So yeah, you're going to pay a higher cost for this container if you're using it at those serving sizes. At least this one is NSF Sport certified, so you do get that manufacturing quality. Again, that encompasses GMP. They put that here, just maybe some people didn't know that, but excellent. So yeah, that's the difference there between monohydrate and HCl. Okay, and then again, that's why you probably want to stay away from gummies and tablets and stuff, because there's a whole bunch of other junk in there. But you make that determination as the consumer. It's your body and it's your choice, so whatever you want to do. But again, guys, just employ these principles when you're out there on not just Amazon, but any marketplace that you can get supplements from. Look for the supplement facts panel. Look at the ingredients. Look at the manufacturing certifications, right? Those are the things we want to be cognizant of when we're buying supplements to make sure that we get the best quality product that we can. Okay, so make sure you like and subscribe to the channel again for more videos on informed supplement buying. Looking forward to seeing you on the next video. Okay, bye-bye.